Please welcome the U.S. Conference of Mayors CEO and Executive Director, Tom Cochran.
In 2010, I went to see Mick Cornett, who was the mayor of Oklahoma City. And I think Mick is here today and want to say hello to him and salute him. And so I met this guy, this tall, very tall, handsome guy, and he was the chief of staff. So he was 27 years old at that time, David Holt. And he went on after that to be a state senator. And then he and Mick were very close. They had a plan, and he was elected mayor of Oklahoma City. And he has been very active with us, and as you know, has been very strong in this organization, and we're so proud of him. Let's watch the video, please.
I've been mayor for 7 years, but I've actually been around the United States Conference of Mayors for nearly 2 decades. My first annual meeting was in 2007 in Los Angeles. I was my predecessor's chief of staff, and I was 28 years old. We were bidding at that meeting to host the annual meeting in Oklahoma City in 2010, and we got it. So as chief of staff, I was immediately in charge of making sure that we did a great job. And it was a fantastic annual meeting. I had the Flaming Lips play a concert. So sometimes people have asked me as mayor if I want to try and host the annual meeting in OKC, and I'm like, man, I've already done that. So I've been around this organization my whole adult life. I mean, look at it this way. Tom Cochran has known me since I was 27 years old. I was born and raised in Oklahoma City, but I went out to college in DC at GW. I think the first mayor I ever actually met was Marion Barry. I had these amazing opportunities at a really young age to work in the Capitol for the Speaker of the House, to work in the White House for President Bush. But after I moved home from DC, I ended up at City Hall, and I quickly understood that this was the best level of government. I spent 5 years as Mayor Cornett's chief of staff, and then I was elected to the state Senate, where I served 8 years. But when Mick moved on and I had the chance to come back to City Hall, that felt like home. After I was elected mayor in 2018, I jumped right into the conference. I was elected to the advisory board and then trustee, and I worked on several initiatives. I was most proud to serve with President Nan Whaley as co-chairs trying to pass the bipartisan infrastructure law. Some days, we mayors were the bipartisan in that name. And mayors sat on the first row, there on the South Lawn of the White House, because everyone in DC acknowledged that that would not have passed without the bipartisan advocacy of America's mayors, and we're here to continue that tradition. Then I got a chance to follow in Mick's footsteps and begin the work to serve as president. I've been really blessed to serve as an officer with President Hillary Sheevey and President Andy Ginther and Second Vice President Todd Gloria. And thanks to Andy, I chaired our efforts to write bylaws for the first time. I'm also the dean of a law school, so that was actually a fun project for me. Oklahoma City is in a renaissance, and I know you'd think a mayor would say that, but the numbers back me up. We have the lowest unemployment in the country, crime is down, our team made the NBA Finals, we're rolling out $1.1 billion in MAPS 4 projects, we're building a $1 billion new arena, and we're going to host 7 events in the 2028 Los Angeles Summer Olympics. And when I was born in OKC, we were the 37th largest city, and now we're the 20th largest. OKC is an example of why mayors matter. We've had a string of great mayors who have cast a vision, and that leadership has made all the difference. That's what mayors do. They lift their cities. They carry their cities through good times and bad. They do the right thing. They bring people together. Mayors get things done. And I'm so grateful that I get to be friends with such an amazing group of people.
I'm really excited to have David come in as president.
I think you can bet on very, very eloquent statements, a lot of incredibly good wit, and a lot of good governance.
He's like a superhero, right? Like, he doesn't flinch at danger. You know, he just looks at the challenge in front of us and says, okay, let's go do this.
He's a great story, right? He's seen both sides of it, having worked with the previous mayor from Oklahoma City to staff and guide Mayor Cornett through his leadership. Of course, tremendous legislative leadership. He is articulate, he's funny, he's focused, he's a principled person who's taken a lot of difficult stands, but he understands what it takes to move cities forward.
I think David has has established himself as a great leader, working on both sides of the aisle, both nationally and in his own state of Oklahoma.
What I think is going to be really important as we transition into the new leadership under Mayor Holt is to be able to have someone that will advocate for local control and for cities on this federal level.
He's funny as shit if you spend any time with him, but I don't know if you want me to say that.
Holt comes in with a different material. He's a stand-up comedy. You know, when you talk to him, you don't get that impression that he's that funny, but when you leave the room, your stomach hurts from his laughter.
I'm also really looking forward to the Flaming Lips playing our annual meeting this year. He hasn't announced it yet, but I'm expecting it to happen. Fingers crossed.
He's a team player, and he believes in getting things done too. I think he'll take that present day priority and make it a reality even more.
David Holt will bring height. He will bring a great sense of humor, and he'll bring that moral clarity that we need in this time of turmoil and transition. Really excited to be able to look up to a mayor for the first time in my life.
We have very serious work ahead of us, but we have to approach it with a sense of hope and a sense of humor and a sense that we can actually get things done.
I'm looking forward to him perhaps building bridges that may not have seemed so obvious.
And he'll be a great representative for America's mayors. So I predicted a very good year ahead, and I just thank you, David Holt, for stepping up on behalf of all of us, and know that I'll have your back and be supporting you every step of the way.
I'm honored to have this role as your president. I know that like a mayor serves their constituents, I serve you. This organization exists to ensure that our sum is greater than our parts. And I'm going to work every day to make sure that we realize that potential. Because this collection of mayors is the greatest group of leaders that our country has, and our country needs you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incoming 83rd president of OKC, David Holt.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. 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 I hope you're not standing up to leave. I've got some remarks. Please sit down. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who was in that video. That was really touching and amazing. That was really very meaningful. Thank you. Although there was that part, I don't know if you noticed, where they talk about how tall I am, and then they had like 3 images of me with short people. That seemed harsh, including Mayor Greenberg. I apologize for that. I didn't edit the video, but well, and thank you, Tom. Like he said, we've known each other a long time, really my whole adult life. So it's really amazing to stand here now as the incoming president. So thank you for the trust you have placed in me. Starting tomorrow, I'm not the president yet. The complaint box is still on Andy Ginther's desk for the next 24 hours. But starting tomorrow, thank you for the honor of serving this organization as president. I certainly want to begin my comments this afternoon by thanking President Ginther for his service. Like all of us, Andy has a full-time job as mayor. Annie has a full-time job as husband and dad. If you've ever talked to him on the phone, you know that because you probably talked to him while he was coming from or going to one of his daughter's volleyball tournaments. On top of those very important roles in his life, Andy took on the presidency of this organization. And he's done a fantastic job guiding us through a national election and the transition to a new administration and Congress. He's kept us focused on the important issue of housing, and he's done all the little things to facilitate the operations of the organization. And he's also done a great job of keeping myself and Second Vice President Todd Gloria engaged and a part of his work, which is important for continuity. His predecessor, who I also served with as an officer, Hillary Sheevey, did the same. A good president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors is doing 25 things a day that you don't see, but you rely upon. And we owe Andy a debt of gratitude because he did all those things and more. Thank you, President Ginther, for your service as president. I want to also express gratitude to another person who served as president of this organization, and I think he's here today. Where is Mayor Cornett? Right here. Okay, yes. Mayor Mick Cornett hired me as his chief of staff at City Hall in 2006 when I was 26 years old. He served as mayor of OKC for 14 years and as president of this organization from 2016 to 2017. I assume when Mick hired me in 2006, he hoped he'd get a good chief of staff. I don't know if he envisioned all of this. You know, Tom said a moment ago that we had a plan. I don't know if we had a plan. I might have had a plan. Don't know that Mick had a plan for this. But in many ways, he delivered me to this path and to this life, and I'm very grateful, and I'm also glad he's here today. Thank you, Mayor Cornett. And thank you to Tom Cochran and his team, many of whom have been a part of my life as well since 2006. Ed Summers came to my inauguration as mayor in 2018. And thank you to each of you, my fellow mayors, who have encouraged me and supported me over the last 7 years as I moved toward this role. And finally, my family, Rachel, George, and Maggie. They couldn't be here today because we all have a lot going on in this season of life, but I'll be with them at Game 7 tomorrow night, and Thunder games are some of our favorite times together. I'm grateful to them for an infinite number of things, but in this context specifically, I've gone to a lot of U.S. Conference of Mayors meetings over the last 2 decades, and I thank them for their support and love as I do this work. So thank you, Rachel, George, and Maggie. I love you. Now let's talk briefly about the work we do collectively here at the United States Conference of Mayors. We have each decided to be mayors, putting ourselves at the center of community decision-making in such a way that our personal decisions and actions materially affect anywhere from 30,000 people to millions of people. In taking on these roles, we are continuing work that has lasted for millennia. It was inevitable that humans would mass together in close proximity to each other. Doing so provided any number of efficiencies, and if handled correctly, could actually enhance quality of life. It was quickly recognized that this congregating together had created something new, a city. And a new thing needs a name. So we began naming them. Cities like Jericho and Eridu, Damascus and Jerusalem. As people migrated farther from the cradle of civilization, more cities were born, and they became the foundation of empires. The greatest empire, for better or worse, in human history is named after a city. Rome is a city. The Greeks invented many of the democratic and planning concepts we still utilize right here in our own communities, and in places like Athens, they conceptualized society around cities. And there is no truth to the rumor that Tom Cochran had a junior role with the Athens League of Cities. Nations came eventually, but they were always just extensions of cities where governance was born. Caesar was really just a mayor. Pericles was really just a mayor. So I say all of this to say, don't ever ask me if I'm running for higher office. There are different offices and different ways to serve, but there is no more important place in human existence than the city, and there is no higher office than the mayor. Honestly, so few governors or senators are remembered for even a decade after they have left office. But people in our cities can tell you the names of mayors going back half a century. Everyone knows their mayor. At any given time in your city, the 10 most famous living people are the President of the United States, a handful of movie stars and athletes, and you. So what we do here has history and significance and visibility, and it is critically important to our residents and to society at large. That is why mayors matter, and it's why our gatherings and our fellowship is unique in American politics. Every kind of elected office in this country has an association. But this one, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, matters the most. I truly believe that. And here are the legs of the stool that hold up this organization as I see it. And I'm going to boil them down to 4 things. 1, advocacy. 2, access. 3, information and best practices. And 4, collegiality and culture. Maybe all that's sort of obvious, but for those of us charged with leading this organization, I think it's helpful to be able to articulate the basic reasons for this organization's existence and to have these basic priorities front of mind at all times. First, advocacy. Advocacy is the work we do collectively to speak up for cities and mayors and local control. And it is the work we do, usually in Washington, to protect the partnerships that we have with the federal government and to secure new support. Advocacy is fundamentally why we have the resolutions process here at our annual meeting, so that we have the official positions for which to advocate. I fully recognize that in Washington it may rarely feel as if the wind is at our back this next year, but we'll work hard and we'll be strategic. This organization is pragmatic, because that's who mayors are. We'll never stop looking for areas of commonality, especially if we can find it in housing and infrastructure. And we simply have to do everything we can to protect what has already been promised, because the residents of our cities rely on that support. Second, access. By this, I mean the opportunity this organization gives us to meet with people that we might not be able to meet otherwise, from federal officials to international leaders to prominent thought leaders, and even the business representatives in this room we partner with at these meetings. Visiting with influential and fascinating people is a unique opportunity we receive through this organization. It's a big reason for these meetings, and we'll continue to work to deliver those unique opportunities. Third, information and best practices. Similarly, a big reason why we come together in these meetings is to learn from each other and thought leaders who are working on urban issues. We'll work to ensure that you are pleased with the programming you receive in this regard. I think receiving important information and best practices is the #1 reason we state back home as to why we get on that plane and come here. I won't forget that. And finally, collegiality and culture. The opportunity to be with fellow mayors is the secret sauce. It's maybe what really gets you on that plane when there are so many other things pulling you in other directions. It's rejuvenating to be with your fellow mayors. We're friends, and we can't replicate that back home. There's only one of you in your city. But here you get to be with people who uniquely understand your challenges. And we have to preserve the bipartisan, really nonpartisan culture that is intrinsic to our collegiality. That is truly unique now among national associations of elected officials. They have almost all lost their nonpartisan culture. We've each worked really hard to preserve ours, and that is something I'll monitor every day, and it takes all of us to preserve it. These are the legs of the stool that make this conference what it is, and it's what I'll focus on in this coming year, as I assume all presidents of this organization have for the last 93 years. And to be clear, there is a professional and experienced staff here at the conference and dozens of mayors working in leadership positions with specific portfolios. So you are not depending on me to do everything. But you are depending on me to provide oversight and direction to that work and to keep us focused on the 4 purposes I just discussed and to leverage my platform and title in every way I can to support that work, and I certainly will. Mayors have long been America's greatest leaders. Mayors get things done. Mayors are the adults in the room. And today, we're also sort of America's great hope. We may be the last serious people left in American politics. We are optimistic, we are unifying, we are visionary, we are simultaneously idealistic and pragmatic. In our daily work, we rely upon old-fashioned but proven democratic ideals of pluralism and compromise. Mayors are the modern protectors of the American experiment. And this organization is the one that protects and serves mayors. That means that the Conference of Mayors sits at the epicenter of America's future. If that future is to be as bright or brighter than the past, it will be because of the work that happens right here at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. As your president for this next year, I will remember that every day. Thank you for this honor to serve you at this vital organization, and let's get to work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for attending. We stand adjourned.